Hello, I'm Nari McDiarmid for miningnews.net, and today I'd like to welcome Malcolm Norris, the Managing Director of Explorer Sunstone Metals. But Malcolm, firstly, how would you like to introduce Sunstone?
Well, I'll introduce Sunstone as a gold copper discovery company. We've got a track record in that space of being involved in some really significant discoveries. The team has worked together through various forms for over 20 years, and we think we're pretty good at identifying good gold copper opportunities, exploring them, and making discoveries. And we also have a good track record in Ecuador, which I'll talk a bit about later on. But definitely a gold copper discovery company. Discovery is essential for our business, and it adds huge value. And that's what we're trying to generate.
Well, if we take a look at your two key projects, you've got El Palmar in the north of Ecuador and Bramaderos in the south of the country. Can you outline the highlights of both?
Yeah, so let's start in the north, El Palmar. That's a project that is located in an area that's the same belt as the Cascabel project of SolGold. So that's a 3 billion tonne copper gold porphyry deposit. And then there's another billion-tonne deposit on the same belt called Urimagua, which is owned by the Ecuadorian government and Codelco. So this belt is exactly where you want to be. Geologically, it's the right place to be. And we identified this opportunity that was owned by a local Ecuadorian retired geologist who used to work for Rio Tinto. He was looking for a partner, and we signed a staged acquisition agreement. So we now own 70% of the project. We've drilled 28 holes, all diamond drilling, and the first 21 were into a target called T1. And that is an ore body in its own right, mineralisation from surface extending down to a depth of about 500 metres below surface. And then just recently, we've announced results from a target we call T3, and that's only received 2 holes. And both of those holes are mineralised. They're ore-grade gold, copper, porphyry mineralisation. So this goes back to the opening comment that we're a discovery company. I mean, we identified this opportunity with drill holes, and we've made discoveries. And we're hoping to take El Palmar into the plus 1 billion tonne type scale opportunity. So it'll be very significant and very valuable. In the south, Bramaderos, this was a project we identified back in 2017. We started drilling there in 2019. We've been drilling consistently since 2019 to today, with ranging from 1 rig to 4 rigs, except for 6 months during COVID. But otherwise, we've been drilling that whole time. We've got a great team, all Ecuadorians. And we've discovered a very significant gold, copper, porphyry and epithermal district or cluster of deposits in this area. We put out a resource at the end of 2022, which was 2.7 million ounces gold equivalent, low grade, but at surface and conservative. And the significant breakthrough, the very significant breakthrough we've seen was drilling that we've done during this year, 2023. We know, or we knew that we had to go and discover higher grade material to justify an upfront development of that very large low grade deposit. We identified a target, we went there, we drilled holes, and we discovered high grade material. So again, harking back to that early comment that we're a discovery company. And we've been putting results out from that area. It's called Limon, consistently over the last 6 months. And without doubt, we've identified a significant higher grade opportunity at surface that will form the front end of some sort of development. Ultimately, at Bramaderos, we're hoping for a 10 million ounce type gold district within our concession. So they're the projects, both hugely exciting, very big, but doable by Sunstone. Certainly Bramaderos is a project that we could take a long way down the exploration, studies, development path ourselves if we so wish.
Well, in terms of taking these projects forwards, Malcolm, you referred to the team's track record earlier. Can you elaborate a little on who's leading Sunstone Metals?
Yeah, it's a team. As I said, we've been working on and off together for the last 20 years. So my background is in geology, ex-Western Mining. I spent nearly 25 years with Western Mining, and then I went into the junior sector. While I was at Western Mining, I worked alongside our general manager geology at Sunstone, Dr. Bruce Rawlack. Bruce is arguably one of the best copper gold porphyry geologists in the world. He did his PhD on the very large Tampakan deposit in southern Philippines. And then Bruce and I worked together on the discovery phase of Tujuh Bukit, a large porphyry in Indonesia, when we were at Intrepid. And then we also worked together in the early days of the discovery of Cascabel, when we were both at SolGold. And we took SolGold into Ecuador when SolGold was in a position where it needed to add new projects to its portfolio. So Bruce and I have worked together for a long time, and as I said, Bruce is arguably the best in the world. When we were at Intrepid, we worked with another fellow called Ray Robinson, and Ray is our general manager studies, and he's a mining engineer. So it's a bit of a point of difference for Sunstone that we have a mining engineer as part of a junior explorer. But that's a very valuable component to how we manage our projects and identify those that really can be taken to development rather than just being focused on the exploration process. So Ray is more than capable of taking these discoveries that we're making through studies and into development. And then, so Ray worked with us at Intrepid, then he went off to Panost and worked on some very large copper gold projects that Panost had. And while there, worked with a fellow called Gavin Light, who's our CFO. And so Gavin's had a background in very large copper gold development projects, which is exactly what we need in the CFO role. So that's the core team in Australia. In Ecuador, we have a team of managers. We've got a country manager who has a finance and economics background. We've got a community manager who's worked on some very large projects in Ecuador in terms of community and sustainability. We've got an operations manager who has a geological background. So a very strong team. We've got a great reputation in Ecuador. That'll be enhanced, as we do more and more work, and we're releasing our inaugural sustainability report between now and the end of the year, which we're very proud of, and that'll be a great booklet to put in front of the government and say, this is the benefits that come from responsible mining. So it's a great team, great discovery track record, and we'll go on to make more discoveries, I'm sure of that.
Well, finally, Malcolm, for any potential investors listening, what are the highlights that you'd like them to know about Sunstone Metals?
Yeah, the highlights are exposure to two essentially world-class projects held in a junior. We currently hold 87.5% of Bramaderos. Our partner is loan carried. We have 70% exposure to or ownership currently at El Palmar, but we can easily go to 100% ownership. So investors have exposure to two very large projects with nearly 100% ownership. Ecuador is a country that is pro-mining. We're in the middle of some presidential elections at the moment. There's two candidates. They will run off on October 15. Both are pro-mining, both are foreign investment. Ecuador, geologically, is the extension of the world's largest host to copper gold deposits in Chile and Peru. So we're in the right belt. And importantly, for investors, for us, we've taken a lot of that front-end risk away. So Bramaderos, we can see a path now to a development at Bramaderos. At El Palmar, we're identifying a huge copper gold porphyry district in the same belt as other huge copper gold porphyry district, which will be attractive to the majors, I'm sure, at some point in time. So we've taken a lot of the front-end risk away. We've got lots of discoveries ahead of us, and we're doing lots of drilling. So for investors, if they're keen on copper and gold, it's a very good place to look at Sunstone.
Well, Malcolm, it's great to speak with you again. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much. Pleasure speaking to you. Thank you.